I come back to you now at the turn of the tide. And press the like button.
Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 146 and 148 for the 19th and 21st of July. In case you don't know, this is the summary for the Russo-Ukraine war, or the Russian special military operation in Ukraine. So yeah, we are so used to just saying the summary just the day. I never report what this summary is about. So anyway, it's about Ukraine, and I have kind of vomited a lot of videos out over the past 2 hours. So I will keep the SITREP here as brief as I can, because I don't want to be repeating too much. So let's start out with cross-border shelling. So at a cross-border shelling, we have shelling reported at Gorodishche and also at Nikotivka, as well as Zhuravlevka. So this is the only shelling that is reported. There is no shelling reported from the Russian side into Ukraine. So that for 3 days, that's quite surprising to me. And also, the Russian put out a statement claiming that they have destroyed 4 HIMARS in total, ignoring the transport vehicle, the resupply vehicle. Total of 4 HIMARS launches has been destroyed between 5th of July to 20th of July. So they listed the three strikes that were that destroyed these 4, and one of them is the one with the transport loading vehicle. This is what they call it, where the video went viral. That drone footage is so blur, it just caused so much quarreling on Twitter. So but coincidentally, the Americans are going to send 4 HIMARS. So if these 4 destroyed is true, then it seems logical that the Americans are replacing these 4, but not giving Ukraine more than what they should have, which is probably 12. So I have done a video on the DPA IRL in real life. So you can actually go to this DPA IRL. The short name is actually DPA IRL, basically. And then I have put a video about this, all about this HIMARS thingy. So it includes the talk about the HIMARS operating in Sumy, in Mykolaiv. There's 2 here, and then there's another 3 in Kharkiv that is being redeployed towards the southeast. And all 4 of these are destroyed in Donetsk. So it seems like the 3 is going to be redeployed towards Donetsk direction, and there's two more unaccounted. In my video in the DPA IRL, I thought it was 10. My memory always said there was only 10 HIMARS. So somehow online, when I read about articles, because the comments told me that there's actually more than that, I realized that it's supposed to be 12. So I thought I counted all 10 of them. So actually there should be 2 more. So that the question now is, where is the other 2? One of them, there is at least one being rumored to have sold to the Russians by some corrupted Ukrainian servicemen, but of course we cannot verify this kind of information, so no idea what's happening. So if you want to learn more about what I said, you can go to youtube.com/DPAIRL. Okay, so finish with the advertisement. Let's go down to Odessa Front. The Odessa Front, the Ukrainian launched a military operation into Snake Island. Snake Island is totally undefended. The Ukrainian forces conducted some research and reconnaissance, as well as so-called demining work over there. They also, collect whatever weapons and equipment and whatever they can find on the island, and they also save a cat. Yeah, this is literally inside the official report. The entire post. This is the entire post by the Ukrainian side, and they talk about a cat. So I'm not trolling. It is true. In my quick update, my title that the Ukrainian military save a cat is true. That's real. I'm not joking at all. So hopefully they do continue to feed the cat. Although I have no idea what the cat eat on the island though. So let's not try to speculate too much about the cat. Maybe the cat sneaked onto the island from the boat, and then they thought that the cat was actually on the island. Otherwise, I have really no idea how the cat gonna feed itself for so long time. Moving away from the Odessa front over to the Mykolaiv front. At the Mykolaiv front, there's a MiG-29 getting shot down by Russian Air Force. So this also represents there is still continued fierce fighting around this region. Is being shot down over Snihurivka actually corroborates with a situation over here at Davidi Brid and Kharkiv Front, as the Ukrainians actually launched an offensive in the Davidi Brid area, as well as in the Kharkiv area. So on top of that MiG-29 that was shot down, which is the air-to-air superiority fighter, a Mi-8 is also shot down over Pervomaiske. So the Ukrainians actually launched an attack around Lozove area, and according to the pro-Russian sources, they are trying to secure this forested area, probably as a bridgehead. And according to the pro-Russian sources, this operation did not succeed, as the Russians actually bombarded them with a ridiculous amount of artillery. And they reported some X number of people die and X number of vehicles destroyed. I don't really care. So, and on the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense side, they report it differently. They say that it is the Russians that actually attempted assault in the direction of Mala Semidinuk or Mala Sediminuka and Andrivka. So is this area here. Then the way they write it sounds like as if they are the one defending, as if they have taken control over this location, which is why there is this overlapping blue area here, because the way they write it, because it means that they actually hold the area, because the Russians actually launch an assault towards this area. And the other area is Davidi Brid and Bilohirka, which is Bilohirka here is here and Davidi Brid. So this area. So that's why I put it in this way. Sorry for a lot of because I'm still thinking about what to say. And they said that the invaders withdrew. So very interesting. So now we have this very weird situation where the pro-Russian source say Ukrainian launched an offensive, but then on the Ukrainian side, somehow they took control of all these locations, which I have never knew when they took, and then they are defending against an attack from the Russians. So yeah, a pinch of salt, definitely. On the Kharkiv side, other than heavy bombardments from the Ukrainian side onto the Russian positions, they launched an assault from this Kinyazivka towards Vysokopilia, and so they said it's launched simultaneously with the Davidi Brid attack, and trying to oust the Russian armed forces from their position. Similarly, this attack was reportedly by the pro-Russian sources to have been defeated. And so that's about it in terms of the actions. In terms of the front line, the front line actually looks quite different from I can show you. It looks a bit different from the previous summary one. You can see it popped out a lot more. The previous one is based largely on the Rybas map, but when you look at the Russian Ministry of Defense map, they actually drew it way out here, and they also claim control over the entire Kherson region here, which also means they should have taken Posad-Perovsky, Novozoria as well as Tajivske. And this 3 location in the Russian map actually looks like they are under Russian control, the Russian MoD map. But the Ryba do not really know so bullish about all this location. They still report that Kaiserlivka and all these regions are still under Ukrainian control. So I have to put it according to the Russian MoD one, because Russian Ministry of Defense precedes Ryba, because they are more official, more legitimate, which is why I have to draw the front line according to the Russian Ministry of Defense. However, I put all the question mark here, and this question mark will continue to be there until we can verify this information, because ultimately the mapping is very comparative. I actually is based on how they drew it. This is how I capture this information, and if they anyhow draw it, then all this information can be fake. So which is why everything is in the question mark around this region here. So let's see how this goes. If you want more detail about all this, you can actually also watch the quick update about the Southern Front that I posted 1-2 hours ago. And similarly, we have some extension in terms of the captures, or rather the positions of the Russian forces. According to the Russian Ministry of Defense map, they are actually very close to Bila Krasnisia, the northern one, not the one below, the northern one, very close. And they actually captured they are actually along all this entire road. They actually captured beyond the river. So they hold position at below Sove as well as Zaporizhzhia around here. So very interesting. It's really, I find it really fascinating. And we are not going to hear much information about all these things unless the pro-Russian sources is going to report it. And the Russian Defense Ministry in their report do not report all these things. They just simply draw it on the map, and then you have to go and find it out yourself. So that's that. And Russian map also drew Ivanivka as well as Mykolaiivka, these two as under Russian control. So question mark there. So because Ivanivka is previously reported to have been captured by the Ukrainian forces, which is why there is this dispute now currently. We are not sure what is the actual situation. So that's all for the Southern Front. Moving quickly on to the Zaporizhzhia Line. At the Zaporizhzhia Line, close to Kayamske, at Kayamske region, according to the Russian map, we can establish that the Russians actually hold the entire southern bank. So there's a river here. The Russians hold the southern bank of Kayamske. So this actually corroborates the report 1-2 months ago, where they have this prisoner exchange along one of the bridges here at Kayamske. Previously, the front line I drew is actually at further down at Luhov, and I was like wondering how the hell do they actually do a prisoner exchange deep inside Ukrainian territory. So this information actually corroborates that the Russians actually have some control over Kayamske. What the hell is all these sausages? Oh, okay. I thought it's some sausages or shit. Anyway, so which means also that based on the mapping, this also makes sense that the Russians actually have control over Verkhnaya Kladnisia as well as Verkhnya. So this is the changes in terms of the front line over at the Kayamske, the first stop of the Zaporizhzhia Line. There is no changes in terms of the second stop at Orekhiv, except that the Russians didn't seem to claim control over Charivny. So Charivny is now returned back to the Ukrainian control, but the Russians seems to hold Marine. So all this do take a pinch of salt, because I base it on how they drew the map. They do not have all the names of all these towns on the map. So which is why it can be I can be wrong. You see, let me show you how it looks like. So for example, so this is the line. This is Orekhiv, and you can see this is Kayamske. You can see they had covered this entire area under Russian control, and they actually merged. So I can actually follow the roads based on the where the road turns. I can actually get the actual correct coordinates, what town is actually there. And so this is how I actually able to establish all the different towns that are under control. So all these locations are correct, but over here at the last stop at the Velika Novosilka area, the Russians seems to have retaken control over Novopil and Novodarivka, and they also drew the map in a way that shows Ohivske as under their control. They have this bulge over here just off Poltavka, which also means that the previous fighting reported at Ohivske, where the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense claimed that they actually win the battle, eventually actually was still captured by the Russian forces. There was fighting reported around this region, so this actually corroborates the fighting there. So over at the Donetsk Front, the Russian mapping continues to wreak trouble for my mapping, where they claim control over Zolota Neva as well as Palivka. So Palivka previously is mentioned to have been captured by the Ukrainian forces. So this actually put a screw into this engine here. But let's see whether all this information can be corroborated. And interestingly, we do see this bulge here, this salient here inside the Russian map, which means this Russian map is not really operating on hopium or copium. Is really they are as truthful as I can observe. So let's show you a map from the 20th of July. You can see the salient here. This is the one. Zolota Neva is actually here. So this area here is actually this area here, where they actually acknowledge the Ukrainian control over here. And after Zolota Neva, they actually do not control all these positions here all the way until this is Velika Novosilka. And this on the left side of Velika Novosilka, they actually also don't seem to be controlling the location, which is around here. So this is the hole here. And then in fact, even if I drag this hole further down, it's still correct because all these are farmlands. It's really hard to hold positions around this area, except for the tree lines. So anyway, it's largely correct. And let's see how things carry on. There is fighting reported by the Ukraine Defense Ministry around Mykolaiv, and this also corroborates pretty well with the updated front lines, where I pull down. Previously, the line was much higher. It's actually here. You can see it's much higher here. I put it down based on the Russian mapping. It's actually following the road. So the fighting around towards Mykolaiv does seems to be logical. There is some fighting reported at Voleda. So fighting at Voleda was a bit interesting for me when I first saw it, because I haven't updated the Russian map, Russian Ministry of Defense mapping, and I was thinking, how do they actually attack Voleda area? So if the Russians do have some control over Palivka, then fighting at Voleda does seems a lot of sense. From Mykolaiv towards Voleda seems a bit harder, but I mean, you still can, because even this area can still considered to be a area around Voleda. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so the fighting at Marinka and Novomikhailivka, I should have put the dates, so now I have no idea when was this. This was 18th of July. So let's add this in. 18 July. So this is actually 4 days old. Marinka has always been fighting, so it's not very, very relevant. The Vodian one, the fighting at Vodian is from the 15th. When was this? This is 18. So the fighting at Vodian has kind of died out. I haven't seen this is by Ukrainian Defense Ministry, and I didn't really see Ukrainian Defense Ministry talk anymore about fighting at Vodian. So I'm going to delete this. And and I have no idea about this Optine. The reason, okay, so I have the Russian mapping. However, is the area from the north of Donetsk city all the way to this area at the Bakhmut Front is extremely hard to read because the mapping is too tight. I can show you an example from, let's see, the 22nd of this from 22nd of July, which is actually today. But do note that this mapping actually is off. This entire Russian area is actually skewed towards the left side by several kilometers. But you can see, from this you can also see the example. This is where this is Bakhmut Front, and you can see the border is like, and that's it. It's just like that because this is already Donetsk city. So it's only like this, and I can't really see anything there, so it's really hard to read. Just to say, this is the latest this is 22nd of July Southern Front map. You can see this, the entire mapping was accidentally pushed to the left by several kilometers, so which is why you cannot base on the 22nd July Russian mapping. It's totally off. I wasted half an hour plotting wrong information. I thought it was like, wow, they broke through there is an advance, they broke through the Kherson border, they captured this area. Oh my god, I have to enter all this information. And then after that I saw this. That was like, what the hell? Then I wasted half an hour. So yeah, so now I know I have to be mindful about that. Yeah, because they'll be like me, they'll be like, oh, then that's it. The entire thing is just off. So that's all for that side. There is, okay, so coming back to here, there is fighting at Kayamka. This is reported previously by the Ukraine Defense Ministry, and there is also fighting reported at Novoselivka Druha. So this was by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, where they say the Russians actually conducted recon in the area, and they actually was not successful and they redrew. So there is fighting reported around this region. Moving on to the Bakhmut Front. So 3 days has passed. I did this summary for 3 days, right? Because I was away for 3 days. The past 2 days, is because my mom went for surgery, and it's an elective, so it's not a life-threatening one. But 1 day was gone sending her there and going to visit her after the operation, and then the next day, which was yesterday, was to go and fetch her back, and so 2 days was gone. Surprisingly, for 3 days there's actually no progress from the Russian side, despite all the attempts to attack Novoluhansk. Rumors say that they captured half of this town, but there is no changes in the entire front line in the Bakhmut and the Siversk Front. The Russians seems to not be able to break through Novoluhansk, the power plant here at Voleska, or even Zaporizhzhia. Vershina also was not captured. Entire fighting at the Vesela Dolena, I think, is entirely no more. I haven't heard anything about them at all anymore. This dispute of Kleinov, just leave it there first. So there is rumors of capture of Perovsky. This is someone messaging me that, but I didn't really see anything from any sources that I trust saying that Perovsky was captured, so I'm ignoring that. There is fighting reported by the Ukraine Defense Ministry at Soledar. They said that the fighting is in the direction of Tryapivka towards Soledar. So Tryapivka towards Soledar. So in this direction here. So the Ukraine Defense Ministry now acknowledge the presence of Russian forces around Soledar now. Otherwise, they haven't actually mentioned anything about this previously. So this is a first acknowledgement about Soledar fighting. Yakovlivka also did not capture. Bilohorivka also not captured. Vestovi also not captured. I don't know what the Russian forces is doing. Sperne, there's some video showing Sperne is one hell of a place to fight. I think there's some video of Russian forces dying around this area here, They got bombarded. They are not in armored vehicles. They were like running on foot, and then they got killed. So now quite sad. This really a terrible war. Fighting is reported by the Ukraine Defense Ministry on Ivano-Darivka. All these locations are still fighting. There's no progress. So Ukrainian forces continue to control Verkhnokayamsky. Fighting is still at that location. The entire fighting at Siversk is kind of like, yes, no more. Sorry, feeling a bit dry, talk too much. And there's no fighting reported at Siversk. The fighting is now still at Horivka and Verkhnokayamsky. They are pretty much stuck in this area, and probably Serebryanka. So the entire Bakhmut and Siversk front is stagnant, absolutely stagnant. So it's amazing, after 3 days we are still not seeing any progress. So the Ukrainians are doing really, really well. So perhaps the HIMARS really make a difference, perhaps. Over at the Izyum front, the Russian mapping is very interesting. They did not put Ozene, Dibrova, Stary Karavan, as well as Brusivka under their mapping. They do not claim control over these locations here in this forested area. So very curious situation here. And and then the mapping also shows a much wider control over the south of Izyum. They control all these towns here below. You can actually go and watch the quick update on the Izyum front. I actually go much more into details over there. My voice is running out. I really want to cough. But we have confirmation that Bohorodeshne is actually under Ukrainian control. For more details, do watch the quick update. Otherwise, there is also a Sukhoi 25 shot down over Kramatorsk, and as well as a Sukhoi 25 shot down over Dobropilia. But what is significant is that both are actually shot down by Russian Air Force, which means that the Russian Air Force is operating pretty deep. They're actually probably flying all over the entire front line here as they shoot down these aircrafts. Which means the Ukrainian surface-to-air missile troops are actually, or the equipments are really running low, allowing the Russian Air Force to actually run riot. The entire mapping on the west of Izyum, the forested area, is all changed. Here also Zaliman is confirmed to be under Ukrainian control, so it's Novsivka. Whereas the Russians actually control large part of the forest based on the mapping. Do watch the quick update for more details. I'm not going to run through the whole thing again. And the front line here also is changed somewhat. And Russians do not claim control over Yavisky, which was previously listed under Russian control. So contested is the Mosponove, because Russians claim control over it, but the Ukrainians also claim control over it. So now we are at Kharkiv Front. At the Kharkiv Front, the Russian mapping actually shows Kontimlia all the way up north to Buhaivka is under Ukrainian control, or at least they do not claim control over all these locations. Very, very weird. So which means that maybe the Ukrainian forces are still there. Maybe. So I might be wrong, I might be right. Otherwise, there's no other changes in terms of the front line. Places that previously was fighting is still fighting. Verkhny Saltiv, Veliki Prokhody, Pitomny, Dementivka, Prudyanka, and the Russian mapping do shows Prudyanka as under their control. So this is something significant. Otherwise, Russian control is pretty much from this area, from Kozocha Lopan to Prudyanka to Lipsy to Versile to Ternova and to Rubizne. This is the Russian mapping, but we do have a bit more control based on our own coverage. So anyway, this is the summary for the day of 146 to 148, 19 to 21st of July, and I will see you in the next next update.